We're about to get started, folks, so if you want to scoot up a little bit if you can't see, and there's a few chairs. You can sit on the caterpillar as well if you'd like. You really can. this woman in her marriage. Friends and family, we're gathered here today to celebrate love and watch two best friends make their commitment to each other for life. Today, Tom and Katie are here to say their vows and commit to marriage. Marriage is a community ceremony that makes official the union of a man and woman. But beyond that, it's a celebration of two families coming together and the start of a new journey. Tom and Katie's journey started roughly 12 years ago when Tom almost suckered Katie into the best deal he ever made in his entire life. The first time they ever met was atop a fire truck at South Park Mall. Actually, it wasn't a fire truck, it was a fire truck slide. Tom had been working for his relative's Denny company, Funmakers, for a few years, knew the ropes, was kind of a big deal around that company, and he'd heard that there was a new employee over at the fire truck slide. After they put all the newbies, because it was the easiest thing going, very easy, take the kids, throw them down the slide. So Tom came over to give the new employee a quick 15-minute break, and when he arrived, wow. In that moment, he was very, very quickly smitten. And given that he was sort of a big deal with Funmakers, he decided in that moment that he was going to take a break with Katie as well. Actually, wait, is Denny here? No. Oh, yeah, so he took a break as well. If Denny was here, I was going to say you covered it. He decided to take a break as well. That first day, they walked around the mall and got to know each other. Katie must have had a pretty quick impact on Tom because from a window as they were walking around the mall, she saw a pair of K-Swiss shoes that she liked, and Tom went and bought them. For anybody who knows Tom, for him to immediately go and spend $69 on something means that he was smitten pretty quickly. From that beginning, they hung out constantly and even began to negotiate their little deal. Somehow Tom swindled Katie in a moment where she wasn't thinking that if they weren't married by the time they were 30, they should get married to each other. Tom left out in the fine print that he's 2 years older than Katie, so she would kind of lose out on that deal since he'd be 30 first. But they were young, and the timing wasn't quite right just then, so their love was temporarily halted when Katie moved to North Carolina in 2008. Left with nothing but those K-Swiss shoes, which he still wears today, Tom would text Katie on her birthday every year and a few other times just to stay in touch. But as they started to lose touch just a little bit, it was a little bit of sadness that brought Katie back to Ohio in 2012. She was up here for a funeral, and she sent out a message on Facebook just asking if anyone wanted to hang out that night. She's feeling a little blue, just wanted some company. Tom raised his hand pretty quickly and said, "A beautiful woman in from out of town? That sounds great to me." They had their second chance, and it started off marvelously this time. Well, kind of. Their first attempt at a new start, they went out on a date, and Katie locked the keys in her car. See, it wasn't her car because she was here from out of town. She had Dad's car, and Katie just takes the bloop bloop thing with her wherever she goes, but it didn't have a bloop bloop. So now her car was locked up, and Tom had already left, and he had to come back and get her. So they said, she went back down to North Carolina, and they said, let's do it again. A third chance at a first start. So Tom drove as he would all through the night to meet her down in North Carolina, a trip she thinks he could make in 9.5 hours. Tom was sure he could make it in 8. And they decided to go on a camping trip. And naturally, because Tom was a little bit late, he arrived, it was dark. And so he tried to put up a tent by headlight light, as any good camper would do. As a reward on their first start, Tom got poison ivy all over his body, which ruined everything. But the important thing was the two of them were able to laugh through it all. All of these little bumpy starts along the way, they knew it was worth it because they were putting up with this. And from that first date on, when Tom returned back to Ohio, they were on the phone every day. Katie remembers how Tom could make her smile anytime he called or texted with just the littlest things. Tom remembers that from North Carolina, just hearing her voice on the phone, he could literally see how beautiful Katie was and knew he was falling for her. So, shortly after that, Katie took the biggest leap of her life. Tom again negotiated a great deal, and Katie moved back to Ohio, and for some reason agreed to move in with Tom and Carl Six. For a sense of how brave Katie must be, for those of you who don't know Carl, he's going to be at the Sheraton tonight. Sit outside of his hotel room after he falls asleep and just listen to him snore. It's like one of the grizzly bears here at the zoo. But Katie made the move, and they were together. And they knew from that moment when Katie moved up that they really had something special. Now, before the ceremony, Katie's mother and Tom's mother lit 2 unity candles, representing the 2 of them coming together. At this point, I want to stop and have the 2 of you light 1 candle, showing the unity and the love that's bringing you together. And I brought a lighter and everything. Now, as they've lit their unity candle, bringing the 2 of them together, I've told you a little bit about how they came together and a lot about the laughter and things that they've gone through, but you should note that they will face hard times in their marriage, something that I talked to both of them about before this wedding ceremony, and they know that they will need everybody in this zoo today to help uplift them, not the animals, but they will need everyone here to help uplift them, to help keep them strong. So I won't ask much of you, but this is the audience participation point of the ceremony. So when I ask the following question, if you will do this, please say, I will. So friends and family, will you help Tom and Katie keep the promises they make together today, promise to help them through thick and thin, and support them in their marriage? Good, you guys nailed that. So Katie took the big step and moved back up here. By December of 2012, Tom was completely in love, and he was also in big trouble, and he didn't know it. Katie and Tom's sister Julie were actually getting ready to meet the DeAngelis family in Europe. Tom and Katie's relationship was sparkling. Those early bumps and little poison ivy issues were sort of behind them, and as Katie liked to say, if Tom had imported her back to Ohio, it had better be so that they could get married. But a few days before Katie left to meet the DeAngelis family in Europe, she told a friend's mother she was sure that Tom was going to propose once she got to Europe. Tom did not know this. He was over in Europe having a nice time, very excited for his beautiful girlfriend to come see him. But in a sign of how on the same page they are, maybe with Tom just a little behind, Tom realized shortly after he got to Europe without Katie that what that trip was missing when he was there with his whole family at different times, what that trip was missing was the new part of his family, his now wife-to-be, Katie. Fortunately for him, he had the best support team that he could. Larry and Amy were there with him, his brother-in-law Brad, his sister Heather, Julie was coming in. They went and picked a ring right there in Europe. Tom shopped around. He even did the right thing and called Carl, Ross, Eric, and myself and said, this is what I'm going to do in Europe, just so you guys know. To which we all replied, do it quick before she gets back on American soil and realizes what she's done. So for 4.5 days in Europe, Tom had this ring in his pocket, and just to torture his mother, every time he was standing next to Katie, he would dip down as if he was about to propose. And if any of you know the DeAngelises, instant waterfalls. Fortunately, Katie, who had sort of expected Tom to propose, was so overwhelmed by this trip to Europe, she'd kind of forgotten about it, and Tom may have just been off of the hook. But on a bad weather day, the whole family headed to a place in Capri that Tom and Katie call Fraggle Rock. It has a much fancier Italian-sounding name, but they call it Fraggle Rock, so we're going to rename it after this wedding ceremony. And each of the family members had to take an individual gondola ride over to this beautiful mountaintop, which was maybe the most beautiful thing either one of them had ever seen. And maybe it was the danger of the gondola trip, or just the romance of the setting, but when they landed off that gondola ride, Tom knew it was time. And so he officially did drop down on one knee, which is amazing given all of his baseball, wrestling, dart league, bowling, and golf league injuries. But he popped the question, and ever the romantic, Katie's first response was, tomorrow? Tom's sister, the traveling shutterbug that she is, actually caught a picture of the moment without realizing it, just capturing the beauty of the moment and the romance. And I guess she really did capture a lot of romance. So, somewhere along the way, they asked me to marry them. Now, a lot of you know, I always thought Tom would ask me to marry him. But I never thought I'd get to play such a big role in the most important day of a good friend's life. Tommy, you've always been there for me. Always. Even when I lived 200 miles away. You have been, without question, my most unfailing and dedicated friend. I'm getting there. And the point is, I love you so much. Katie, Tommy and I grew up together. And I think I have a sense for what he wants and what he needs in life. And as you and I have become friends, I can tell you that you are everything he wants and everything he needs. Your passion, the way you balance him, the way you've melted into his family, the way you make him a better man. Please take care of him for me and the other groomsmen here who were never very good at it. And support him always. I love you both very much. So, after they asked me to perform this ceremony, my wife Claire and I went down to visit Tom and Katie for dinner and turned on our journalism skills and asked them what would make them such a great couple once they were married, what would keep them together through thick and thin. Independently, they said they would always support each other. They said that they're easy to laugh together and that they will have their fun. But they also want to be there for each other during every bump in the road. They look forward to sharing their journey together. How Tom is with her friends and family. He loves that she is fit right in with his sisters, Julie, Heather, and Carly. Before you are two people who make friends and family such an important part of their life. They both talk about the joy of taking the next steps together. Katie, watching as Tom basically turns into Larry as a father that takes the kids golfing and has fun. Tom pointed out he couldn't wait to watch Katie be a young mother, to know that she would be strict, like Amy sometimes was with him, but at the same time, as soon as he was out, she would let the kids have all of the fun and do things they could never do when Dad was home. They don't know this, but when we talk to them separately, they even use the exact same phrasing. They said, we work hard to communicate with each other. We always want to be together, and so we work hard every day to stay on the same page. Today, they officially mark that page as friends and partners for the rest of their life, and I couldn't be any happier to bring them together. So, enough blathering from me. Let's do the formal stuff, which the state of Ohio says that I'm allowed to do. Let's start here. Will you, Tom, take Katie as your wedded wife? Will you love her, comfort her, honor and keep her, forsaking all others, so long as you both shall live?
I will.
Will you, Katie, take Tom to be your wedded husband? Will you love him, comfort him, honor him, and keep him, forsaking all others, so long as you both shall live? Repeat after me. Here in front of God and our family and friends.
Here in front of God and our family and friends.
I, Tom,
Tom,
take you, Katie,
take you, Katie,
to be my wife,
to be my wife,
my partner in life and my one true love.
my partner in life and my one true love.
I will cherish our union and love you more each day than I did the day before.
I will cherish our union and love you more each day than the day before.
I will trust you and respect you,
I will trust you and respect you,
laugh with you and cry with you,
laugh with you and cry with you,
loving you faithfully through good times and bad,
loving you faithfully through good times and bad,
regardless of the obstacles we face together.
regardless of the obstacles we face.
I give you my hand, my heart,
I give you my hand, my heart,
my love,
my love,
from this day forward, as long as we both shall live.
from this day forward, as long as we both shall live.
Katie, repeat after me. Here in front of God and our family and friends, I, Katie, take you, Tom, to be my husband, my partner in life and one true love. I will cherish our union and love you more each day. I will cherish our union and love you more each day. I will trust you and respect you, laugh with you and cry with you, love you faithfully through good times and bad, regardless of the obstacles we may face together. I give you my hand, my heart, and my love, from this day forward, as long as we both shall live. Carl, may I have some rings? Tom, place the ring on Katie's finger and say, "With this ring, I thee wed."
With this ring, I do that.
Katie, do you have a ring? Place the ring on Tom's finger and say, "With this ring, I thee wed." In front of God and all their family and friends, Katie and Tom have consented together in wedlock and pledged their vows to each other. By the power which the state of Ohio has for some reason vested in me, I now have the honor to pronounce you man and wife. You may now kiss your bride. For the first time, may I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Tom and Katie DeAngelis.
It's a beautiful day. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna marry you.
Those that are in the family pictures, we ask that you please stay here. Everybody else, you're welcome to go to the happy hour at Guy's Party Center. It will be open right now. Thank you for joining.